Okay, so let's talk about something that I heard, I think almost 20 years ago. 15 to 20 years ago, roughly, give or take. It was something called the Inside Out Revolution. I don't know the name of the dude who created it or who then talked about it, but it was some sort of, I want to say, university professor slash scientist slash, I don't know, author probably. So, some dude who was lecturing within psychology. And I think, if memory serves me correctly, that the premise of the entire Inside Out revolution was about you have to start from the inside. And then what's on the inside has to go outside. Now, he was talking about self discipline. Well, self discipline, self confidence, feeling good about yourself, and all of those things. And that's true. Because if you feel like shit on the inside, that's going to carry to the outside. That's why a lot of people who, well, especially women, a lot of women who struggle with low self-confidence, whatever. Let's say they were let's say they might have been, I don't know, molested or abused when they were children. They're using overeating and cutting their hair short and making themselves look unattractive for other men as their defense mechanism for never having to go through that again. I don't claim to be some sort of a psychology expert. This is just hearsay, but it kind of makes sense. And so, you can't tell me that these goth and emo kids are doing well on the inside. Nobody wants to feel dark and depressed, really. I mean, unless you're playing black metal, heavy metal. I know because I listen to a lot of that music and I'm familiar with parts of the scene. Those people are just fun and jovial to be around because they're just dressed in black and they're dressed in various offensive, or excuse me, they're dressed in clothes with various offensive slogans and so on. But that's just part of the culture. That's not because they're feeling dark and depressed on the inside. That's a different thing. And I also dare suggesting that those who are successful, in their lives when it comes to health, relationships, finances, spirituality, and so on, they feel good on the inside. And so that's what this thing refers to, really. The inside out revolution is basically you have to start out by believing in the spirit of Andrew Tate, who taught me this. You have to start out with believing that you're the fucking man. I mean, that's my best way of explaining it. And I've yet to hear anybody dispute that. Because if, like I said, and I'm just paraphrasing what Andrew Tate taught me in that regard. If you walk around believing that you are the fucking man, nobody can really destroy you. Nobody can really ruin you. Nobody can do something about that. Nobody can. Only you can, if you genuinely believe it. And so this is where aura and charisma comes in. And that's precisely why, also something that Andrew Tate, but also Ben Settle taught me, is that means that you should seek out the things which you fear. Now, I'm not talking about bungee jumping with a steel wire from 1,000 foot. That's just dumb and silly. Or, parachute jumping without releasing your parachute. That's dangerous. I'm not talking about doing suicide or suicidal things. Driving down the highway without a seatbelt, doing 100 miles an hour when there's during the middle of winter with summer tires on. I'm not talking about that. That's just dumb. I'm talking about doing stuff that's not dangerous or, there's always some risk, but, that won't get you killed. But that will leave you with some sensational mastery. Like, for instance, going to the fight gym, whether it is BJJ, MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, whatever it is, Go there, get punched in the face, get kicked in the stomach, understand what it feels like, and then keep on doing it until you're the one who's able to dish out the punishment yourself. And then maybe go have a fight, because that's scary. And yeah, potentially could be dangerous, but let's not kid ourselves. You're not going to get killed by having an amateur boxing or Muay Thai fight. This isn't the pros. We're talking about just a smoker fight. Well, whatever it is. You're not going to get killed. You're going to get hurt a little bit. That won't, getting hurt won't hurt you. No pun intended. If you're a fat, lazy slob, then actually clean up your diet. Leave the booze, drink water from a glass bottle, drink black coffee, try fasting, increase your protein intake, reduce your alcohol intake, etc., 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 etc. And you'll find how that's way easier eventually, and how you'll get in better shape. Lift weights. If you're socially awkward, actually join an improvisational theater class, maybe stand-up comedy. Go and approach people. Approach all the hot girls who you want to bang. And yeah, you're going to get rejected. You're going to get the hand. I've had that multiple times. And it's going to suck. But then wash, rinse, repeat. Do all of that. And I can almost all but guarantee you'll feel better about yourself. And you'll develop that sort of charisma, that air, that riz that can't be faked. Really, you will. And so very, very quickly, that's my take on the Inside Out Revolution. And also, that'll make you more persuasive. Speaking of which, join my email list. The link to do so is below the subscription wherever you're watching it or listening to this. And I'll see you there.